Hey y'all, Dustin here at Backcountry Cuisine, and this morning we're going to make up an omelet. And instead of doing it as a baked omelet or a fried omelet, we're going to do it as a steam baked. So instead of a dry baked, we're going to do a steam baked omelet. And I'm just going to mainly use this video as a way to show you some different ways to steam bake food. You can use this method for anything from omelets to sweetbreads or yeast breads or cinnamon rolls, anything like that. But let me show you the basics of it. So with steam baking, what you do is you put a little water in the bottom of a pot, just like a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch of water at the bottom. And then you need some kind of spacer. So there's a couple options. I made this out of flashing material, aluminum siding flashing, just a 1-inch strip, and I cut it, coiled it up, and you could put that in the bottom of your pot, like that. And you need something because what I'm going to do with this particular one is I'm just going to put the plastic bag right inside. But I put the plastic bag right inside, the bag is going to go through those little spaces in there. So I've got a couple options here. One is a piece of hardware cloth that you lay in, and that hardware cloth lays right on top of the little spacer I put in there. That's one option. The other option is to use something a little lighter weight. This is the bottom of a pie pan, and I cut it a little bit too small for this particular pot. It'd be better if it was a little bit wider, although that's good because then steam can come up around the sides. You can punch holes in this, you can do whatever you want. Either way though, when I put the bag in here and it sits on top, a little bit of it will be down in the water, but ideally I'll keep as much of it out of the water, boiling water, as possible, because the steam is hotter than the boiling water, so it'll cook better in the steam. It'll cook faster. So that's option number one. And for that, I'm just going to use this little Covea spider stove and boil it up like that. Option two, instead of using this spacer, you can find some rocks in camp. 3 roughly equal-sized rocks, height-wise. Space them out in your pan. And then, same idea, you can lay this on top of it, or you can lay if you bring a piece of hardware cloth, you can lay that down on the inside of this as well. Either one of those would work great for this particular method. Okay, so I got the Covea spider going, and that's going to get this water boiling pretty quick, because again, there's only a little bit in the bottom of that. And I use this little pie pan bottom as my little holder. And then again, this is my omelet, and there's a big pocket in there. And again, now I'm going to use this. I'm just going to pop this right on top. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to let the steam bake this. Put my lid on. And once that comes to a full boil and I can see the steam coming out, I'll just turn the heat down and let it go really slow. And as long as I still see steam coming out the top, I know I'm baking. Okay, over here I'm going to be using like I said before, that little pot. And this is it's called a Snow Leopard from Flat Cat Gear. They make awesome alcohol stoves. I've been really impressed with their stove systems. Very lightweight, very simple, and they really work well. So I've got those 3 rocks in the bottom. I'm going to put this on top, and here's my mix. I put out some parchment paper on the inside. That just makes it so that the cleanup out in the backcountry is so much easier. It is really worth it. And even though this is going to be a little messy, and it's definitely going to leak over the sides, it's still going to be great for cleanup. It's still going to make it way easier, way less cleanup to do. Okay, I've got everything in there. Put a little bit of water in here. You want to make sure the water level's below where the rocks are. That way the steam has a chance to hit the bottom of the pot too. And get these all leveled out as best you can. You really do want to get rocks that are the right size, and I may not have done quite as good a job as I could have. Okay, there we go. That's ready to roll. I'm going to put in about 1 ounce of fuel. I'm probably put a little less than that. It's way more than I'd actually need. It's about 3/4 of an ounce of fuel. but it'll make sure it gets enough in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light my alcohol stove and get that going and get this up to a boil. Once it's boiling, I'll take it off and I'll put on my simmer ring, so that way the fuel lasts longer. And this simmer ring is cool. It's a really thin piece of aluminum that has some carbon felt on the inside, and that helps to keep the aluminum from melting or getting disformed, so it works really well. Hey, be back in a minute. Thought we just check in with our Ziploc bag boil bake, and it's definitely getting hot in there, and it's definitely thickening up. It's doing a pretty good job. Got a little bit of melting right there on the bag, but that's when it was up really high and I was just getting the water to a boil. Alright, go put it back in there. It's definitely not ready yet, but still steaming nicely. So my fuel level is doing great. Okay, it only took maybe a minute or so for this to get to a boil, but it's definitely boiling now. So I'm going to take it off the heat. And I'm going to put my simmer ring on. And that'll decrease the amount of fuel that I consume, so this can go for a longer period of time. Alright, we'll let that roll for a little longer. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes or so since this has started boiling, so let's check it out. And, yeah, this is looking, well, it's definitely hot. It's looking really good. Let's get out a spoon. Check the inside part of it. Yeah, this looks like egg to me. Alright, good stringy omelet. This is perfect. Love it. Good stuff. Yep. So I put veggies in here, a little bit of powdered egg, a mozzarella cheese stick, but that's perfectly done. Great, great stuff. Alright, well, it's just starting to rain, and I think we're just finishing up here. This looks like it's in a great place now. It's much poofier. Cheese is all melted. I've got a really good little omelet here to have. So, steam baking. I got lots of different methods to use. Try one out. Let me know how it goes, and let me know if there's some other question you have. Alright, everyone, take care and eat well.